Hello, welcome. Today we're looking at the fastest ways to level up. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can, and we're going to cover general tips for leveling up, what to do if you are new to the game, the best buildings to level up for like the fastest experience, and then at the end we're going to get really nerdy and we're going to crunch some numbers, and I'm going to show you how you can do that as well to look at the most efficient ways to level up. So if you love a spreadsheet, then give that like button a little tickle for me, because at the end of this video I'm going to be showing you one almighty spreadsheet. First things first then, and this needs to be said, as soon as you reach the required level to level up for the next age, then jolly well go ahead and age up. Do not age camp, and by that I mean don't try and max out every building for the age that you're in. You're not helping anyone by doing that. You're just adding to war weight and missing out on all the potential offensive capabilities that you have in the next age. So if there's someone in your alliance that might need to hear this, then for the love of God, send them this video and I'll jolly well tell them for you. Honestly, just need to live by the words of the very wise Qui-Gon Jinn.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yep, it doesn't matter if you are a maxed out digital age, because in a world war, an information age will still come along and shit all over you. And no one likes to be shit on. At least, well, most people don't. Whatever you do, don't go and Google search Cleveland steamer. I've said too much. Right, moving on. So, when you reach the required level to age up, go ahead and do it. That's the best way to do it. Now then, if you are a new player, off the bat, you want to go ahead and pick Greeks. Oh, Greeks. Why is that? Well, that is because they give you instant upgrades on buildings underneath a certain amount of time. And this is so much stronger than it used to be, because back in December of 2023, BHG reduced massively the upgrade time for buildings pre-Global Age, meaning that you can essentially get to Industrial Age within like just a couple of hours of actual gameplay. And I'm not joking, I did actually even do this back when they released this update. Here's some proof. So if you couple being Greeks alongside joining a alliance with good parliament, perks and upgrades, then you can get to Industrial Age super quickly just by basically leveling up your road and focusing on the buildings that I'm now going to share in this next section. So your first priority is going to be any buildings that are going to increase your offensive capabilities. So we're talking buildings like your armory, your barracks, your factories, your airstrips, your library, your war academy, mercenary camp, and don't forget your alliance gate as well. Increasing your offensive capabilities alongside any relevant research in the library and the armory, and I do by the way recommend definitely getting the extra upgrade slot in both the library and the armory. Yeah, focusing on these is going to be your first priority because, well, stronger army is going to mean for easier looting, faster resource gathering, and therefore, of course, easier upgrading of the rest of your buildings. Speaking of the library and the armory, once you've completed any relevant offensive upgrades, start working your way through anything else that's lower down in the library. These early technologies don't take very long to research and they give amazing experience, so crack on with those. And again, in the armory, even if you've upgraded all the things for your army, don't forget to get those coalitions ticking over, tactics and things like that as well. So now you've completed sort of any relevant offensive technology and research and buildings, the next thing to prioritize to get leveling up as quickly as possible is going to be your economic buildings. So we're talking like your mills, your markets, farms, caravans and things like that. Why? Well, they generally take less time to level up and give good experience, which makes them better than defensive buildings. So get leveling up these. Things like caravans and farms generally only take 2 citizens in the earlier sort of levels as well, so they give you good bang for your buck. The ultimate bang for your buck though when it comes to leveling up and upgrading buildings is your traps and SAMs and CGIs. Why is that? Well, that is because I'm sure we all know your traps, things like landmines and your ambush traps and your barbed wires and stuff, they only take 1 citizen, which means you get great value for money with the experience to citizen ratio. Yeah, that's a thing. So your experience to citizen ratio is going to be really good with the traps, so get those leveling up as well. That's going to help you level up quickly. Talking about defensive buildings then, the only time you really want to get defensive buildings upgraded is if they're sort of like the lower level ones that aren't going to take much time and are going to give you better experience versus leveling up some of your economic buildings. How do we decide this? Well, this is what we've been waiting for. We are now going to get onto my spreadsheet and I'm going to just show you really the ultimate way to prioritize which buildings to upgrade. Right, here we are. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the colours. Look at all those numbers. But seriously, let's break down now then what we've got here so that you can potentially do the same for your base to really maximise and look at the most efficient ways to upgrade your buildings. I did this back when I was trying to get to automation age, and I had a bunch of crowns that I wanted to splurge to do that. So what I did is I took every single building and I took how long it took to upgrade it and the experience I would get for upgrading that building. To then work out which ones are going to give you the sort of best bang for your buck, all you do is you take the experience and divide it by the amount of days it takes to upgrade that, and that will give you an XP time score. I also did the same for the crowns it required to upgrade it and the experience given to give you an XP crown score. So if you've got a load of crowns you want to splurge, that's another way to sort of look at it. But in terms of just generally prioritizing buildings, looking at the XP time score is going to give you the best indication of which buildings to upgrade. Essentially, the higher this score, the better the building is going to be to upgrade, because it's going to give you the most amount of XP in the least amount of time. So if we have a little look through here, you can see generally which buildings are going to help you level up quickly. Of course, it will differ for your base depending on what level your buildings are. This doesn't take into consideration the amount of citizens that each building requires, so that's something you sort of have to sort of factor in as well. But generally most buildings take 4 citizens. Some of the tank depots and garrisons take 6 when they get to the higher levels. Regardless of that though, I definitely recommend, if you really want to be serious about leveling up as quickly as possible, doing this. It takes about half an hour or so, but I would say it's a good thing to sort of work off of. So just take your buildings, take the time it takes to upgrade them, take the experience, and then divide that experience by the days. Bob's your uncle, you've got yourself a nice little sort of indication of which buildings are going to be the best ones to upgrade and which ones are going to give you the most amount of experience in the least amount of time. And essentially that's how we level up quickly, leveling up the buildings which are going to give us the best experience in the least amount of time. So that concludes this little video. Hopefully you found it useful. Please drop a like if you did. If you like the content, consider subscribing. I do post on the regular, so if you want to see more of my content, subscribing means you won't miss that. Thank you for watching. As always, I will see you in the next one, and peace out.